back on. So exciting. So I hope that you've enjoyed the first talks that we have had on here. I'd love to know your feedback and what you're thinking. It just means the world to me. Let's see, I'm just making sure that this is all on. It says we're on YouTube. I'm believing we're on YouTube. Very much so. Yay! Yeah, you grabbed lunch. Good, good, good. So we're in the middle of our day, and I'm very excited that you are here, that you are joining us. I'm just checking our links on YouTube. I'm going to share them out. So if you're joining us from YouTube, stick around. We're about to start. This next hour is really going to be about how you do one thing is how you do everything, and the power of being a holistic coach. All right. Whoop, whoop. So I'm going to be completely honest here because that's how I roll. This spot was meant for somebody. Something came up, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to talk about this. It's not scripted. I'm not going to do a scripting talk for you because what I want you to know is that when you're coming from a place of this is my mission, this is my heart, it is about flow. It is about following and trusting yourself. And to do that is, like everyone has said coming up to this point, is to know yourself, is to speak your truth, is to admit when things in your life aren't showing up in the right way, when things aren't working out. And instead of saying, well, that's their fault or their problem, or that's them, or that's society, or that's this or that, instead of blaming, to what can I own in this? What can I own this? How can I shift? How can I shift within myself to no longer stand for that, to no longer do that, to no longer do that way? And one thing that I stand for is my word and doing what I say I'm going to do. And I said I was going to do a summit, and there was one spot that was open, and I really felt this call in my heart to come and speak about why holistic coaching is the way to go and what sets your own university apart from other things. And it really is for those of you who want to know how your success ties together. So you're going to learn a couple things in this talk. One, you're going to learn about me. Two, which you may or may not want to know, but that's part of it, right? Just like we learned about the other speakers and teachers. Two, you're going to be able to look at your life and look at these 6 areas and go, what area am I still self-sacrificing? What area am I still not fully owning myself in? And how can I step into that area? What area am I saying I can't because of my business? And what does that look like? What does that appear to for you? And what we're going to do is walk through these power zones. And I just want you today to take out a notebook and say, which areas am I finally ready to give a voice? We've talked about emotional intelligence. We've talked about voice today. And those really connect in to how you're going to speak authentically for your heart calling and what you want to do to help the world. And then we're going to talk about some of these deeper blocks this afternoon, these excuses that people have and people take on very often of I don't have the time, I don't have enough money, I don't know where the money is going to come from, I have too many interests, I don't know what to do, and everyone says I have to talk to one person and do one thing. We're going to talk to a multifaceted entrepreneur that I've watched do like everything and be successful. She's incredibly fun too. And we're going to just dive into this awareness of what it means to be all of yourself, including speaking to Raquel to end the night about your human design and your uniqueness. So today, the whole talk is really about being authentically aware of your emotional intelligence and why that's so important, being able to vocalize it and be in your natural essence and your authenticity, right? Being able to look at how everything is showing you who you are, including your voice. We just learned that from Jan. I just learned that on a deeper level from Jan, how much our voices are going to show the partner that you attract, the business that you attract, and what that means, right? And then we're going to connect it into how do you stand in your worth and your value, breaking through those trauma patterns, and getting out of the story that it has to take forever, and that the story is a marketing issue or a speech issue, because your speech could be fine, what you're saying could be fine, and as we just learned from Jan, it might be simply your tone and healing this deep inner wound or inner child thing or boundary issue that will shift your tone, which will then let all the marketing and all the work that you've done land. So it's all going to come together today and tomorrow, and you'll be able to take what you've learned and either apply it directly to your life to know where you need to heal, where you can own your authenticity, what areas of your life are showing you, hey, I need attention, I need some healing, I need some support, and hopefully you can find the people here that can support you in those areas. And I'm going to share with you what we do at Your Own University. But first, let me introduce myself a little bit, because there's multiple pieces to this story. And you might have heard my story about my childhood and my trauma and my drama and how I became a transpersonal psychologist and therapist, and why I help people with CSA and other childhood traumas. But what you might not know is that all really began because I wanted people to heal, and I wanted people to have a voice. I wanted people to heal quickly. I didn't agree with the status quo. I didn't agree with traditional therapy because it hadn't worked for me. I didn't agree with the guru saying my way is the only way because it didn't work for me. I didn't agree with I had to do things the way that other people wanted me to do them because it didn't work that way. Their way didn't work for me. And so I made an agreement with myself that I was going to honor you, whoever you were, whoever the person was that I was either helping through coaching or nutrition or teaching in yoga, or the person that was now the people that I train to be holistic coaches. So what does that look like? What is holistic in general? What does it look like? It means that you matter. Every part of yourself, how you do one thing is how you do everything. That your life, your voice, your speech patterns, your emotions, your beliefs, how you take care of your body. She said, like Jan said, your speech, right, is changed most when you take a deep breath, exhale, lifting weights. Getting strong is going to lower that fear, which is going to change your speech, which is going to help people trust you so you can have more sales. so you can have that shift, so you can have more impact. So here's a bit of my story, how one thing is everything and why you're so important. So the first thing is I was 21. I was 20, probably 20, 21 when I was first diagnosed with my first round of cancer. And I was working as a hairstylist. I was going to school to be a musician. I was a vocal student at the University of Colorado Boulder, and I wanted to be a star. I wanted to be a star. My family were dancers. My mother was a dancer with a yoga and dancing school. My aunt was a performer, and my uncle was a performer. My family was just performers. That's what we did, and I was good at it. And so I got a lot of praise with it. I got scholarships for school. Singing was really easy for me. I absolutely loved it. And then all of a sudden, I got cancer, and I started realizing that life was short. And my cancer was cervical. And in order to heal it, I went to a naturopath. And that was a story kind of similar to Christine's earlier today, Christine Romans. But I went to a naturopath to heal it because I had a freak out in the doctor's office when they were going to give me a cone biopsy and radiation. It was very traumatic. It was very, very traumatic. And so I freaked out. I went to my chiropractor, was crying and everything, good friend of my mom's. And Dr. Nancy Rao was laying down there, and she said, "Hey, I can help you," kind of very similar to Christine's story. And so I went to her, and it was 6 months and a lot of colposcopies. We worked with another MD that did all my biopsies, and we went through this, but part of the healing was emotional intelligence and emotional healing, and part of the healing was inner child work. So we started working with all of my sexual abuse growing up, and physical abuse, being beat, and mental and emotional abuse. And all of that went together. Now, I was very, very torn because I was doing a lot of internal work too. We lived in Boulder, Colorado, and so I was introduced to breath work and rebirthing work and childhood healing work and body work and yoga work. And then I was doing these hypnosises and regression work, all in my teens. So I was very much aware that there was all of these different modalities that worked, and not all of them worked for me. I also started studying Kundalini and the chakras and meditating every day when I was about 13, 14 years old, 7th grade. And so I had a big, big platform to heal from. And my mother, luckily, was very aware and able to say, okay, we're going to heal this together. She took responsibility for her part in it to the best of her ability as the years went on, and me too. and so she was throwing these modalities at me. And like I said, some of them worked and some of them didn't. But at the age of 21, when I had cancer, I realized that life was short. And I no longer wanted to do things that weren't really filling my cup. I wanted to go right for it. So, for instance, I was in school for music, and I switched to pre-med and psychology, and my music turned from classical arias and musical theater, and I switched to wild and crazy. I switched to jazz, and I have a jazz CD. Here's my jazz CD. Look how young I was. Hey, and I began really investing in what I desired to do. But I was sick. And I got through the cancer, and I went back and I was doing music. I moved to California. I was singing. It was all that. And then, boom, my adrenals failed. Like everything, my body was teaching me I wasn't healed yet. My body was teaching me. I wasn't speaking up for myself yet. My body was teaching me. I was letting my energy just go, go, go. I was being a people pleaser. I was letting people walk all over me, and then I'd have these big blow-ups. And I felt very misunderstood because I just lose my shit. And it was coming out from adrenal failure. My body had to make me stop because all I was doing is running. So it's about 24 at this time. It's 2000. And what I learned from that experience is I started doing NERI, actually in OT and in ET. There are two types of chiropractic work that have been fused now years later, 24 years later, into NERI, Neural Emotional Reflex Integration, which is one program that we share and train people in at your own university. I'm very fortunate to be able to house that as one of our trainings, because I went through NERI, and what it did was it reset my gravity reflex system. It reset my system. So all of the reparenting, all of the hypnosis, all of the therapy, all of the Reiki, all of the body work, all of the yoga, all of that stuff actually began working. It began making sense to my body. It could finally click in and go, because so often we do this internal work, we do this holistic work, and we'll have a piece of it, right? But by the time the rest of our pieces, the holistic version, the rest of our pieces fit in to make it click, this piece has already been messed up by all of these reactions, if that makes sense. So in order to get that harmonizing loop, NERI did that for me. And I don't do NERI on anybody. I honestly didn't even go through the training because not that I don't like touching people, that's not my field, that's not what I want to do, and I have learned that I want to stick as closely to my lane as possible. But if you are a massage therapist, a physical therapist, definitely a chiropractor, definitely a nurse, anybody that is hands-on, NERI, Neural Emotional Reflex Integration, and the 21 steps will help any other treatment of your clients, like help it click. So that's what it did for me. I was 24. I went back. I did this treatment. I had adrenal failure. I was exhausted. I went from running triathlons to literally like bedridden. And I started recognizing how my body was trying to tell me a story. And I started recognizing all of the stuff that was working together. So I realized I had to keep a good diet. And if I didn't, then I wouldn't be able to think straight. And if I didn't, then I wouldn't be able to recognize how I felt. And then I'd have an explosion. And but then I realized, but I could be eating really good. And if I wasn't working out, right, then so I got the basics down. So when you're in our holistic coaching certification, these basic life skills are important, but they won't solve the problem if you don't have the rest of the pieces. You have to have the holistic version of it. But you can eat good. So you want to help your clients eat well. You're going to learn how to help your clients and put together a workout and fitness regimen that works for them. Because oftentimes we'll go and do somebody else's fitness program, but we absolutely hate it. And if you're not enjoying it, then you're not going to sustain it. So you help them find their own, or you help yourself find your own. And that's something that you can do for yourself right now in this talk, is find your own. You're also going to learn how to have this relationship with the physical things and really have mastery over your physical things and how you want to do that. I know people that's very much about everything being particularly in a certain spot, and other things, other people that don't mind things being all over the place, but it's about you and it's about balance. So we talk a lot about that self-expression piece in this zone. And so you're going to be able to learn and recognize when your clients, maybe they want to make more money, but they have a bad relationship with their own physicality, right? They have a bad relationship with taking care of themselves. And if they don't take care of themselves, how could they truly be trusted by universe to take care of a lot of money? These two patterns will play together in their stream. So say you're a business coach and you want to do that, but your clients keep coming to you with health issues. What's going to actually heal their business is you being able to masterfully help them with their physicality, right? Or they can go and hire a physical coach. And sometimes they want a personal trainer or something, right? But in this realm, you're going to know how to help them find that and find those answers. And then you'll also be able to. It's live, guys. You'll be able to give them some tips and tools on how to do that. And we have a beautiful platform to do that. The next piece is mindset, right? You can teach people how to have the best habits and rigidity in their life of their habits, or how to sell a program and product, but if they don't believe, it won't happen. If they have a subconscious program in their mind running, you're not enough, you can't do it, nobody listens to you, children are to be seen and not heard. What are some more popular ones? I'm not enough. I think I said that one already. Those ones kind of run the show. And we usually have 7, actually. I found 7 core beliefs that run through our system that we get to debunk. We get to claim ownership of and make a new belief. So you got to own the belief that you had and then make a new belief. So we work through those when you're going through your own coaching. And then, but for your patients, for your students, for your clients, knowing their mindset and how to shift them into a higher vibrational mindset, how to shift them into a more supportive belief system without shaming the negative belief system. And this is where the trauma-informed care comes in, because many coaches, many practitioners, they're like, I'm the only way. And there's many ways to do this. So ways that we certify our mindset portion of the holistic training in is EFT and NLP. So EFT is tapping. Anyone can do it if you've heard about it. So you get trained in tapping, the basic system for trauma-informed tapping, which is different than others. I explain all of that in the training, but you're going to get trained in that. You're also going to get trained in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is that speech, okay? Tony Robbins made this super famous, but it is that speech, it is that awareness. What words you use matter. And back to my story, when I was driving to my chiropractic appointments to get this neural-emotional technique done on me, where they work on pressure points and you look this way and that way. It's really awesome how they reprogram your nervous system. It just takes years of therapy and work off your hands. You can do it through yoga and you can do it through NLP. But I was learning I can, I am, I will, I choose, I have, I create, and beginning to actually change my speech patterns without even knowing what I was doing. We also do subliminal reprogramming, and you'll learn how to use subliminal reprogramming and how to make subliminal programming tapes for your clients, which will also put them in that theta state and help them retrain their brain, retrain their stories, and do some deep internal inner child work as this, because that can affect, if you're a business coach, that can affect that. If you're a health coach, their belief systems about them and their sense of safety, we'll get into emotions in a minute, but their belief systems are going to affect whether they can release weight or whether they can gain weight, because it's directly tied to the fight, flight, or freeze adrenal function. So the next piece that you're going to be trained in and to look at within yourself as one thing does everything is your emotions, right? So there are not many emotional intelligence coaches. just recently in the therapeutic field, we have DBT, which is diabolical behavioral. It's not technique, and I should know it because I'm certified in it. Um, it might be technique, it might be treatment. But anyway, we have DBT, and it deals with emotional intelligence. But emotional intelligence in this world, what you're going to find out is you're going to discover with a whole huge workbook, there's 4 phases of emotionality, and you have a master emotion in each of those phases. So there's low frequency, mid frequency, and high frequency. And there's actions. Okay, there's the physical and the mental that goes along with each emotion. So you're going to have actions that might help you relate to your clients in that. They'll have beliefs behind that you get a shift, and then they have the emotion itself. When you own the story that it tells you, the action that it propels you into, and the behavior that you're going into, you can shift an emotion very quickly. We also do that meet and resonance level. So we'll find out your emotional intelligence key code, which is unique to you, and then you utilize your awareness of self to meet your clients where they're at and mirror them, right? And it's a lot like what Jan was talking about with the toning, right? But instead of the frequency of tone, which is emotions, you are going to do it with the frequency of validation in coaching. So you'll learn how to do that, all while learning how to ask the right questions, the art of listening, the art of redirecting, specific things that coaches do, different from therapists. And being a Ph.D. in psychology, I have a lot of wisdom now in how to do both and the difference in both and how to be very safe in that. Next, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So all of those things are actually creating your life. And you have an electromagnetic field, and so do your clients. And that's why we attract different people, because we have this vibration around us. So you'll learn how to coach in our holistic coaching certification program. You'll learn how to coach your clients and how to help them manage this electromagnetic field, manage the traumas that are held in this electromagnetic field, so they can stop patterns of self-sabotage, stop patterns of attracting the same old person, stop patterns of self-denial, stop giving away and draining all of their energy, and learn how to manage it. So this I began when I was 13 or 14, learning how to manage my chakras, but I had a blown out system. So I would feel everybody's everything. I was hyper empathetic and empathic, and it really caused a lot of dis-ease in my body, definitely caused relationships that didn't understand me. It caused a lot of fear in my body, a lot of stress in my body that passed down to my children. And so learning how to close your circuit, close your client circuits, and do some energy work. So we do basic Reiki, we do basic hypnosis in this area. And what you're going to learn as you learn basic Reiki and basic hypnosis is basically energy work. We're going to work with this electromagnetic field, which we all have in energy work. I don't attune you in a Reiki. That you'd go someplace, but we learn hands-on healing. We learn prayer work. You learn how to help your clients cleanse, cut cords, get rid of things in this field so it doesn't take them so long to have it all locked together. Okay, we want it all to stick. This whole time, where you're also doing work to balance their vagus nerve and reprogram their subconscious mind and attune to their emotions and give them power over their emotions. So remember, you're doing all of this. So no matter if they're coming to you for manifestation, a lot of manifestation coaches, they learn this piece. Reiki practitioners learn this piece, but then they have somebody that has all these other issues and they can't get this piece to click because these issues can't be addressed. In this coaching, you're going to learn how to address all these pieces and this manifestation piece with with your clients. From this, you have the whole person, and we do this thing called soul seeding, which is actually the 7th pillar there. And you help people heal that trauma and come into that soul level. And we're going to be working with Tarek in just a minute, talking about the importance of clearing in this etheric field and how you can do it like that. And sometimes, many times, people have instant results. And he specializes in instant results for money and finances. And we did a great course together, Money and Honey. And really, it heals the sexual trauma, this creation trauma, this life-giving trauma, and our very compromising, very paralleling, relationship with money, security, and value. Okay, money, security, and value. It used to be a woman's worth, what children she could bear, right? People would marry to form alliances and countries to bear children, right? From that. So sex and money, sex and value have gone hand in hand. So we did a whole 7-series clearing that I'm going to be introducing you to, and we'll be sharing you to, and I'm going to drop a link about that because we have a great sale on it right now. For you for this event. But a lot of the issues is not a money issue. It's not a sales issue. It's not even a communication or marketing issue. It can just be in this field. And so we clear that. You learn how to clear that. Next is relationship. You're going to take all of you and be in relationships. So this is where that authenticity comes into. In this course, you're going to learn how to help your clients set boundaries. You're going to learn how to help them figure out what they want and who they want to be. And you'll help them with communication. So this is a lot about communication, how to communicate. It's something I didn't know how to do. I didn't know how to do it all growing up. And now I'm, we all have communication issues. We all have communication stuff. I think Jan might help me even more now. But now I have tools. I have tools and I have practice that can help me communicate, help me set those boundaries. And so my relationships are just better. They're just better. And so you'll learn how to be a relationship coach. You can work with couples. You can work with people. This is dating coaches. You need this. But if people are going and they're wanting dating advice, but they have childhood trauma issues, and you don't know how to treat those because you're not a holistic coach, then they have to go to somebody else, right? They have to go to another training. If you don't know how to do that work, you don't know how to work with those deeper inner beliefs, they're going to still attract that same partner. So even for you, if you want to be a relationship coach or a divorce coach or a marriage coach, this is just a great tool for you. You can still go into that field. I've actually had doula be trained in this certification program. I've had a couple divorce people be trained in this coaching program. And that's their specialty. That's their heart call, but they do this one training. So when their clients come to us with one thing that seems like it's over here in left field, but really they shift this and boom, their partner comes. That's so cool. And the next is business. I tried being a business coach in 2015 when I came into here. People were telling me, oh, you can't talk about sexual abuse, you can't talk about abuse. And I wasn't a therapist. I hadn't my Ph.D. yet. And so it was probably good advice. But I went to help people with Empire Builder, help people to put together speeches because I had, write books because I have, put together programs because I had and have. And they learned those things, but what I didn't know at the time was how to follow my heart, right? So, but you can use all this stuff for you. If your heart says, I want to be a business coach, I want to be a money coach, I want to help people do these things, you need that. But what I recognized in all of those events is I needed all these other tools, and I used them all. I had most of them already, but I used all of these tools to shift them to get them results. to get them money, to get them speaking gigs, to get them writing their book. They needed all of this stuff in order to really have that confidence to step forward. So even business coaches, if you can do internal work with the child, if you can do light health coaching, if you can do NLP, EFT, hypnosis, prayer work, energy work, you're going to get your clients to that result faster. And for me, being a good coach, being a good helpmate, being a good leader is about being able to say, yes, I can help you in this area, and no, I can't. And at the same time, it's looking at how deeply you want to help your clients. So one thing that I realized after I got well and I went to yoga teacher training for Bikram yoga, and then I went for multiple other yogas after that, I realized that everybody said, my way is the best way. My way is the only way to do something. You have to do my way. I'm the only yoga. We're the only Reiki. We're the only hypnosis. We're the only this. My college is the best college. And you know what? I hate that. I hate it. So my authenticity is there are so many different methods to get from point A to point B. You got to follow your heart. If you want to truly help people, you got to learn as many modalities as possible. And you can go and spend $2,000 to $10,000 on each modality, like I did, right? Or you can do it once, and you can learn most of the modalities with a solid foundation, with a company that stays with you and works with you and partners with you through a training, or you can do it individually. But eventually, if you want to be a coach, if you want to be a speaker, if you want to be an author, if you want to impact lives where you're mentoring people or being an advocate for people, you have to know all these skills, because people that have one issue, their issue is usually rooted in another area of their life. Their issue is usually going deeper and deeper in another area of their life. And you got to pull up the roots where they're at, not where you see the evidence. Like we said, we usually see evidence outside of us. We see evidence in illness. Well, you can treat the illness over and over again, but if you don't treat the deep internal drama and trauma that you're pushing away, shoving away, pretending didn't happen, trying to fix and change, if you don't end that war within you, those things just keep coming up, keep coming up, keep coming up. And we want to stop those things coming up for our clients. So that is what Your Own University is all about. We also have a yoga teacher training program that happens. We have multiple, from previous years, master classes from incredible teachers. We have a directory of coaches that we work with, including the people on here. And we help people with each area, right? So we help you. If you are like, right now, I have all these other areas at a 10, and I want to get my body in tip-top shape, you can go there, right? If you know that you want mindset work, you can go there. You can piecemeal, but if you want your clients to know, I can come to her, I can come to him with anything, and you'll be up. Yeah, it looks like this problem is in your relationship, but actually it's back here with your relationship with your mom, right? It looks like your problem is in finances, but really it's over here in your relationship with your value and your worth, okay, in this old belief system. Or you're not expressing this feeling, or you're not being authentic with yourself, or you don't know how to communicate yet. So being able to coach in all of those areas is the difference between holistic coaching and lifestyle design, or becoming a business coach, or becoming a manifesting coach, or becoming a mindset coach, or becoming a fitness professional. You'll get to be able to do it all. So if this interests you, applications are open, and they're at yourownuniversity.com. Just click on there. I'll also have the link there. You can also come and start your journey with us just looking at this methodology of the 6 personal power zones. It's called the Amazing You Method. And it's a treatment plan. It works for the worst traumas there is. It works brilliantly for. So it's definitely going to work for anything else, and it has. But where with the VIP package, we're doing a 3-day event. It's called Rediscovering Me, and it's April 5th, 6th, and 7th. And you'll get introduced to your 6 personal power zones and activated in them, really clear on where you're at, and you'll get to play in them. It's a lot of fun. It's very interactive. And then we're going to go deep into relationships and deep into your purpose, breaking some of those cords, breaking some of those things. And then we're going to activate and launch that. So you can come to that, definitely do, you'll love it. And then apply for a spot for our coaching certification. This is also another thing I do differently, is I don't do big group coaching. Why? Because I've been trained in a lot of big group coaching things where there's 200 people or even 50 people and you're a number. And I want to help you. My heart is to help you find you, and you really bring your authentic voice into the world, into a service that's going to make you money while filling your heart and changing the world with your message. And through this training, you also get business training. You get to write your book, put together your talk, put together your speech. You get to get certified, and then there's a lot of bonuses. So check that out at your own university. There's a spot to apply right on the homepage, as well as you can read all about it if you click on the link above. So is there any questions that you guys have about holistic coaching and how you do one thing is everything and how these things tie together either for yourself or for you as a professional? Why this training might be one where you're like, I want to coach, but I'm in corporate. I actually have a man that studied with me in Singapore. He took his corporate career to the next level by getting the certification and beginning to coach in corporate. And he wanted to travel. He got to travel. It's really cool. So you can read all about Nick. He's on there. And so if you're looking for a coaching program where you can kind of one and done it, this is it. This is definitely it. So any questions before we hop off and get ready for Tarek? And I'll wait. I know that YouTube is catching up. So next we have Tarek Bibi. Like I said before, he's one of my favorite teachers. He was one of my coaches and mentors. He helped me go from stuck at 5K to consecutive 10K months. We're aiming for 15, got 10. But when you can sit back and relax in that as a single mom and a busy woman, and talking about a topic that is challenging, my main business, I talk about sexual abuse all day. And so leaning back in PTSD, so leaning back into that and having him and doing this deep spiritual work. So he really works in the quantum field. He works in the quantum realm. And we're going to be hopefully doing some clearing today. And we have a program. We both call it different names. I just like Money and Honey. So I keep calling it that. I know we renamed it, but on my pages it's Money and Honey. I'm going to post it up here. And it's usually $888. We have it on sale today for $111. So you can have it. It's 7 super powerful healings. They're both educational. I do the educational piece, and he does a lot of the clearing work. And he'll talk more about his own story and how he does that, but we might talk a little bit about it on our show. He has a beautiful business academy that trains people in his method of infinity healing. And he is definitely a talk not to miss. So you'll want to log on. We're going to have him on at the top of the hour. That's 1 o'clock Alaska time, 2 Pacific time. And then we will move on with our other 2 speakers. And with that, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to talk to our Zoom people. So if you're on Zoom, stick around and let me know how you're liking the summit. And we'll go deeper there in our private room in Zoom. If you want to enter our private room in Zoom, check your email. If you signed up for Meant for More, if you haven't officially signed up for Meant for More and you want that Zoom link for tomorrow to join us in this intimate setting, go ahead and click the links. They're all around. And also check it out at your own university. Just scroll to the bottom of the Facebook page, or not the Facebook, the homepage. It's there under events, and let yourself in. Open the doors. Get the link. Let yourself in. I'd love to have you over here. And thanks so much for joining us on YouTube. We'll be back at the top of the hour.